Hello, hello. It is Tuesday. Feels like Monday because we had a snow day in Atlanta. We had a little bit of ice, a little bit of snow, and everything shut down. So welcome back. I hope you're having a great week. It's cold here in Atlanta. It's like 15 degrees, which is really cold for us here. But the show must go on. So today to show you a few updates and a couple builds that we have in progress and give you a little behind the scenes look at how we wrap up these beautiful trucks, and a couple for sale too. So if you are interested and you want to grab one of our inventory builds, I'm going to tell you about them here on the live, walk you through them. But you can text or call our team and you can buy it right now on the spot. If you're watching this, you see something you like, you can text or call our team and we will answer your questions. We take trades as well and we offer financing too. So I'm going to flip this around, see if I can do and show you what we've got. So before I dive in there, our team is taking this beautiful pure white truck that belongs to Randy. Check out that ball glove interior. This is going to be wrapped up today, prepped for shipping, and off to Florida, a much warmer place. I think it was like 85 degrees there yesterday. So, but before we dive into this and behind the scenes, I want to show you the first build that we have in stock, ready for immediate delivery. This is done. This right here is Britney blue, every single option, Wimbledon white grille, chrome trim. Check out the vintage stripes here. You don't have the red pinstripe, becoming very popular to go all white, and we can do that in a variety of colors. And this truck here has every single option, including fully enclosed soft top, Fox factory suspension. You have the Roush performance package. It has the 33-inch tires, all terrain. You got your polished wheels. And then on the inside, I'll show you what that looks like. Ball glove for the leather. Let's take a wide view here. And you can see all the chrome trim, tan soft top, and of course, all your safety features come standard. This is not an old car. It's not a restoration. It's not even a rest-a-mod. And the biggest difference between what it is we build and what we used to build, those guys over there, and what all the other builds are out there that you see on the market is that this is not a classic car or a restoration or a rest-a-mod. We used to build those. They were beautiful trucks. This right here is a 2025, 2026 vehicle. And how we achieve that, I will show you. But this right here is a rare, popular color, Britney blue, every single option. And you can text or call our team and buy it right now on the spot. You can reach out to us. If you're on Instagram and you want to DM us, you can DM us and we will answer your questions. We do take trades and we also offer financing. And this truck right here, it is ready to go. There's no wait. Typically you have to get in the queue and you have to spec it out. This one right here is completely ready to ship. So what is it today? Tuesday? Barring any more snow or ice storms here in Atlanta, you could have this in your driveway, driving it by the weekend. And so your best bet is don't go to our website, although you can if you want to, vintagemodern.com. There is an inventory page, but typically builds like this don't get listed. They're already sold before they're done. And this truck right here finished final inspection and is ready for immediate delivery. So if you're not the type to wait and you really want the absolute best, this right here gives you classic car design, modern car reliability, technology, luxury that'll make your G-wagon jealous. And you don't have to worry about the old car problems. It has safety features too. Safety features that are actually what you'd find in a 2025, 2026. You have airbags, you have traction control, you have anti-lock brakes. It says don't open, so I'm not gonna open that. But you do have all the creature comforts, all the safety features, your backup camera, your parking sensors, everything. So this is a Britney blue truck in stock, ready to ship. And let's swing over here so you can see what else we've got in stock. A lot of action over the weekend, and we had to work from home because of the weather, but yesterday. But we do have people circling these that are for sale. So this right here is your Valentine's Day pink on pink on pink right here. That is in stock, ready to ship. Valentine's Day, a couple weeks away. If you want to win Valentine's Day of 2026, this right here is the ultimate Valentine's Day present. And again, I'll give you a deeper dive of each of these here. Just want to show you. And if you want this truck, every week we do a live broadcast and we simultaneously broadcast to Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, X, and I think one other platform. And every single week, somebody calls up during the live, puts their deposit down, and secures their build. No wait. So if you want it, you've been dying for one of these, but you couldn't settle for old car problems. This is not an old car. It is a 2025, 2026, all your modern safety features, all your modern technology, and the luxury, I can tell you, it is on a different level. And you will be absolutely, completely blown away by the craftsmanship and the quality and the details that our team right here in Atlanta pour into each one of these builds. So this is Valentine's Day, in stock, ready to ship, guaranteed delivery in your driveway before Valentine's Day. You're gonna wanna move fast on it. It's not gonna last. It's the only one, and it's one of one. This right here is not for sale. This is our vintage rose pink G-wagon, and I will come back to that here in a second. But what is for sale, up for grabs right now, pending deposit, is this balloon white truck that also has every single option, and this guy is lifted on 35s too. So if you want something super unique and rare like nothing else on the road, but you don't want all the old car problems, leaks, squeaks, rattles, and lack of safety features, this is not an old car. It looks classic, but you get truly the best of both worlds. Look at that. I'll give you a nice walkthrough of that here shortly. So for sale, in stock, ready for immediate delivery, balloon white with every single option. And this right here, shout out to Jason Meyer from the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl. We'll keep it for you a little bit longer, no rush. And if you, well, I won't jinx you. Let's just say he wanted us to keep it because he's a little bit busy winning on the field. So go Seahawks. All right, so balloon white for sale. Come back to this vintage G-wagon here in a second. You got Valentine's Day over here. You got your Britney blue truck, which is sitting here in our light tunnel. And this truck here has pleated stitching, which is really, really cool, not diamond. And then I'm gonna show you one more that, oh, look at that. This is beautiful. This just hit the line. Looks like grabber orange with raven black grille and raven black accents. We'll come back to that here in a second. This is our team right here. We got Sharon, Jonathan. Hey guys, how are you? They're about to, doing great. They're about to do a final inspection here on this beautiful truck. It belongs to Randy. And Randy wanted to match his boat, or I should say boats, plural. And the spec looks just like his yacht. Pretty cool. Can't wait for that picture. And of course, what's a truck boat combo without your teak wood here in the back? How beautiful does that look, especially on this pure white? Beautiful color. Not Wimbledon white, but pure white. You can see very, very nice looking. Looks really, really great on that ball glove. And this is going to ship out to Florida. Cannot wait for Randy to get this. Our team is doing final inspection. You can see documentation for every step. Everything is completely recorded, and we will score people, process, and parts. If you ever watch those elapsed time videos, there you go. I'll be in that. Hey Seth, head of production, how you doing, man? And we got, we're gonna zip over here and show you a couple others, and these are unlisted. So again, if you want one of these, let's check out this beautiful truck here. Britney blue, I love, actually no, sorry, this is a custom blue with the heritage stripe. And check out the wheels on that. You've got retro wheels. They look classic, but they're actually 17-inch forged aluminum wheels. And this truck, I think, is about to ship. So if you are watching and this is yours, she's going out the door. I got you covered, man. Here we go. Door comes open. It is very cold here. I know it's probably not cold compared to where you live. Look at that, snow and ice, kind of. And the show must go on. So we're about to load this beauty. And let me see if I can pull up my nose to see where it's going. But this is Tyler right here, about to load this up. And all of our builds go on an enclosed trailer. You can see, well, it's probably behind that truck right there. All the ice melting here. And, oh, we got another one here. Chalk gray, heading out the door as well. So I'll make sure this doesn't close on him. Justin behind the wheel. All right, so, okay, so GT Silver, pre-owned, low mileage demo, under 1,000 miles, every option in our final inspection tunnel. We go through every pre-owned vehicle, which is rare when they come up. You want something now, you don't want to wait. You're not the type to go spec out a truck from scratch, and you like GT Silver, vintage stripes, you've got the chrome trim, you've got the tobacco leaf leather interior. We go through a certified pre-owned process, a CPO process, where we go through the entire vehicle. It has 900 miles on it. We really could have just, thrown some soap on it and vacuumed it and said for sale, but that's just not how we do things. Because when we ship a vehicle, we stand behind it. And so we go through the whole thing, normal process, normal inspection process. It's a lot of time, and that gives us the ability to put a warranty on it, just like a fresh build, and you can drive it with confidence, and you can skip the wait, and you get a little bit off of retail here. So GT Silver, for sale, in stock, ready to ship. Today's Tuesday. You could be driving it this weekend if you move really, really fast. And you look at this inside here, tobacco leaf leather interior, absolutely gorgeous. So this truck is for sale. I don't actually know if it's listed on the website, but if you want to check it out, vintagemodern.com, and your best bet is to text or call our team, and they're on standby. It doesn't matter what time it is. If you're on the West Coast and it's late, it still doesn't matter. You text or call us anytime. This is a labor of love for us. We do it just because we love it. And this is a really, really high demand vehicle. So we get calls and emails and text messages and DMs from all over the world 7 days a week. So this is what we do. So sales team standing by, ask them about GT Silver, and it is available immediately for delivery. We do take trades. We do offer financing as well. Somebody will be very, very happy with this truck. 900 miles, that's like nothing. So right in front of it is Kelly's truck. Kelly right now, I think Kelly's out in Europe somewhere and waiting to have this truck deliver. This is hot ginger with Wimbledon white grille, Wimbledon white trim. And I love this color combination. We've done hot ginger with black trim, with chrome trim. I haven't seen hot ginger with Wimbledon white grille, trim, wheels, and a worn glove interior. Very, very nice. So Kelly, if you're watching, this is ready to go, and can't wait. Nice homecoming present for you. All right, sneak peek, unlisted, matte gray. We only did one matte gray truck, maybe two, and not listed on the website. If this is your jam, you better jump on it fast, because I'm really considering taking this home and never bringing it back. I'm a modern guy, but I like classic too. But when I see black trim, black grille, and this paint, which is a beautiful frozen graphite, and here's the thing, we'll never do this again. It's an absolute pain in the ass. And to pull this off at this level of quality, it is not easy to do. And so we used to charge super premium for it. Then we just decided, you know what? It is so much work. We discontinued it. So if you want a color that is super, super rare and we'll never do it again, this is a good one. It is pre-owned. It hardly has any miles on it. And it is for sale. We haven't listed it anywhere yet. This truck right here, I'll tell you, it is truly, look, here's Kelly's super classic hot ginger with Wimbledon white trim, and then next to it looks like a completely different vehicle in matte frozen graphite with raven black trim and grille and wheels and worn glove interior. Super classic. And this right here is just classic with a little modern twist to it too. So somebody should grab this. I think this is going to sell on a live very quickly, and you'll be extremely happy with this truck. And again, we'll never do this color again. If you do want matte, easy way to do it, like let's say Kelly wanted matte on his hot ginger, you could do a clear PPF like XPEL film or something like that and make it look matte. But if you want a true matte paint job, this right here is absolutely stunning. It'll turn heads everywhere you go. And I don't care if you have a G-wagon, G63, a Range Rover, a Urus, a Cullinan, a Bentley. You pull up in this and man, people are just gonna go, wow, that thing is absolutely awesome. And with all the black trim, all the options, stunning. Text or call us at the number that is pinned to the comment section or the caption, and our team is standing by. If you want to DM us and you're on Instagram, best bet is to go there. You can DM us as well, and we will answer all your questions. And if you want to trade something in, you want us to put a number on it, you want to understand financing options, all of that could be done. Talk to a live person, we'll walk you through all of the options. So there you have it, for sale, in stock, and I'm going to show you a couple other builds here. And so in line for our test mile process, we have a couple trucks here. This one right here, this is Matt's truck, and this is that midnight blue that's going to California. He's the one out in Rancho Santa Fe. This will be his daily driver, trading and upgrading his M8 competition. I love that. I mean, M8 competition, very cool car, can't take away from it, but I'll tell you, in California, Southern California, this is like the car to have. You could drive it every single day with the top off, and what a perfect place for it. So while it's cold though, everywhere else, I can tell you that even if it was snowing and even if it was cold, this is actually something you can drive every single day regardless of the weather. Unlike an old classic car, which this is not, you don't have those limitations because you have all of your modern technology, all of your safety features, and all the things that keep you out of trouble and allow you to drive it, like traction control, like anti-lock brakes, like snow, slippery, sand, ice mode, and all of that is controlled right there with that dial in the center console. You don't have to think twice. The soft top, waterproof and water tested, 4-wheel drive, shift on the fly. You don't have to get out and lock or unlock any manual locking hubs. So that really does make a difference, because when you buy a car like this, you think, well, how often will I get to drive it? And I remember back when we did restoration, Restomods, people would say, oh, well, the summers are short, so I really can only drive it a couple months a year, so I really, I really need it now, or I need to get a different kind of car. Well, with this, like this boxwood green truck that I'm standing in front of, this is Paul K. Paul out in South Carolina, Cape Cod. Paul is the one who always wanted a classic car, was afraid. Sound familiar? That's me. I always wanted a classic car. I waited 20 years from when I fell in love with an old Bronco in high school to when I actually pulled the trigger. And the reason why I was scared was a reason why most of us hesitate to buy a classic car, which this is not. You're hesitant because you're worried and you think it will have breakdowns and issues and problems and leaks and squeaks and rattles. And you're right, because that's exactly what happened to me, which is actually how the company got started. As a founder, there's always a story behind the story. And the story goes, I bought an old Bronco. It was one of my dream cars on my bucket list. I did wait a long time to get one because I was really worried about all the breakdowns and the issues. I was accurate in all the breakdown and issues, and it was such a pain in the ass, honestly. I was just kind of fed up with it. And my wife said it was me or the Bronco, and I just was really torn on what to do. No, I'm kidding. I knew what to do. I'm going to keep both because that's just what I do. And so I told her, I'm going to make it better. I promise. I'm going to fix it. And fixing it went from taking my old 1970 Ford Bronco, which had serious problems, spent more time in the shop than it did on the road. How annoying is that? Throwing good money after bad. This was my dream car, but it became a nightmare. Imagine your dream. You wait 20 years, you get in your driveway, and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. And that's actually what happened. And nothing to take away from purists and mechanics and people who, are collectors. I'm just not a mechanic. And even if I was, I don't have time to fix my car or the desire to fix my car. And so for clients like Paul, who always wanted a classic car but was hesitant, he came to his buddy, and his buddy knew about vintage. And he was like, you know what you need? You need something that has no problems, modern reliability, modern technology. You're a little bougie. You're used to driving super nice cars. You don't need an old car that's been made modern. You need a modern car that looks classic. And so Paul's friend referred us to us. And now Paul's truck, Boxwood Green, is on the alignment rack going through test miles. And Paul, you will see this beauty go down the line through inspection. Should be done very, very soon. So super excited for you. And I can relate. I think that's probably the key here, is that I can relate not only to people who always wanted a classic car but didn't want to have problems. I can also relate to people who've never had money, because I never had money. And it's really, really important part of the story, because I know how hard it is to go from nothing to something. I built companies. It was a grind. It was a sacrifice. It was hard. And I was motivated by cars at a young age. And so twofold. Number one, if you're watching this and this is your dream car, which I just love, by the way. I love that this is your dream car because it's mine. Then I really hope it's motivating for you to hear and see these builds and understand, where the clients are coming from and how they got there, because it gives you the confidence that if they can do it, so can you. Very few of our customers were just like born rich. I mean, there's a few of them, but hey, whatever. Most of them had to work hard for it and came from nothing. And I love a great American dream story. Two, I'm not a mechanic, so I know what you're looking for. So if you do reach the level where you can buy cars like Range Rovers and G-wagons and Bentleys and Urus and Cullinans, not only do I know exactly what it is you're looking for, because I have all of those cars and I've had over 60 by now. I'm 45, by the way. I can also appreciate and respect and understand what it's like to make a purchase like this. I know how hard you work for your money. And I know what expectations you have because I've also been on the wrong side of these transactions. And as a new car buyer, you go to a Lamborghini dealership and you just know that, for the most part, it's gonna be good. You go to the Ferrari dealership, it's gonna be good. Well, how do you know when you buy a FJ40 Land Cruiser, a Land Rover Defender, a Bronco, a K5 Blazer, whatever, resto mod, and it costs $250,000, $300,000. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, gee, for that money, it's gotta be good. And I started at the bottom when I dabbled in restoration. And what I found was, okay, yes, the cheaper it is, definitely the worse it can be. And so I had plenty of, my wife, I'll say nicely, I'll paraphrase, she called them turds. She has to call them something else, but I'm not gonna say it. And so I said, okay, well, all right, well, if I buy a $50,000 car, which by the way is not an inexpensive car by any means, well, surely at $100,000, that $100,000 car has to be better, right? And then I was disappointed. And I was like, no. In fact, I was more disappointed because the money doubled, but the outcome didn't double. And so I thought, well, gosh, that sucks. Well, surely for $150,000 or $200,000, Restomod restoration, they say it's done really well, and they say, every nut and bolt brand new, and they say all this stuff. And I'm a marketer, by the way, right? Marketer by trade. So I've spent my life marketing and doing sales. And I'm a car guy, and I grew up with nothing. These are all very important pieces to the story. And I had at that point in time, 40 plus really nice cars. Ferrari, Lamborghini, Aston Martin, Bentley, McLaren, AMG, all this stuff. I knew. And I knew what good looked like, and I was just disappointed at $50,000 for a restoration. That's what that was, by the way. Not built by us. And then I was disappointed at $100,000, and then I was really mad at $150,000. And I said to myself, you know what? I actually think that all these are kind of the same. And it's not to say there aren't great builders. There are great builders. But I believe the great builders make up 1% of the builders. And all the rest, well, you should go and inspect and hire a third-party mechanic and get everything looked at. And I think what you'll find is true great craftsmanship, fit and finish, and ability to actually properly build a vehicle that you are willing to put your family in and drive on the freeway. Like that's a big deal. Would you just trust an airplane that was built by somebody in their garage or a shop? You don't know the history, you don't know the process, you don't know about SOPs, and you just don't know what's happening there. You'd be like, airplane? No, hell no. Well, how's the car any different? You're putting your family in it, right? The only thing touching the ground are the four wheels and tires attached to a chassis with tons and tons of mechanical things you have no idea about, and electronics. And how do you know? And I think that what I found was the Restomod market was really, really hot during COVID, super hot, okay? Restomod means modern restoration, which is that blue one right there. That's the Restomod. This right here is a traditional restoration that I bought off Facebook Marketplace and immediately regretted. Spent a lot of money on it, and the guy promised me it was a nut and bolt restoration, quote unquote. He had done a bunch of them before. It doesn't mean it's good, and this was the result. And this is after I kind of did some stuff to it to make it better. Squeaks, leaks, rattles, breaks down. Last time I drove it, I was broken down on the side of 85 Interstate in Atlanta, if you know where that is. That was it. I was like, done. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. So it takes that kind of experience for you to go, restoration, not good. And we built restoration. They look really, really nice. And then quickly decided, no, we're going to do this. This right here, this is a hot thing. And in those COVID years, I can tell you, people changed the way they spent their money. Outdoor things, vacation homes, boats, RV sales, custom vehicles shot through the roof. Remember that time when we were stuck inside on Zoom, acting like we're working all day? Yep. Okay, so during that time, Restomod was super hot and the market shifted. They didn't want old, they wanted old looking, but they wanted more modern, and that's what this was. So Restomod moved in this factory, built an amazing team, process, supply chain. All of this here happened when we opened up this factory, which started with nothing. And we got really, really good at building cars. Fit and finish and the quality and the craftsmanship of our vehicles have always been good, because remember what I'm used to, $200,000 cars that you buy from Lamborghini, Bentley, Ferrari, Aston Martin. So anything that was not perfect fit and finish, I just never allowed. However, the limitations of this truck are similar to this because of a short wheelbase this way and a narrow track width and solid axles. And these solid axles are not going to help you driving to work, driving on the freeway, going to school, because solid axles are great for off-roading, but they're just not really ideal for a nice modern ride like you're used to in your Range Rover. And so we built this. This was good, restoration. This was better. But the client said, can you make it drive better? Because it doesn't drive like my normal, modern, longer wheelbase vehicle with independent front suspension. And they also said, and while you're at it, can you add safety features? And the answer was no and no. But I don't like to say no. Remember, my wife said fix it or get rid of it. And I said, let's do both. And so what we decided to do was keep what made this truck cool and then build it on this. And this right here is everything you need to know about what is different about our product. And if you're considering a classic car, a restoration, a Restomod, and you're in this price point of $250,000 base price and up, that you need to pay attention to this, because all of the learnings, and I've spent millions and hundreds, 90 to 100 hours a week for the last 4 years and 3 months, studying, learning, failing, and just taking punch after punch after punch, because my standard was perfection. My standard was, no, it's got to be like my G63. It's got to be like my Range Rover. It has to be a super high-end luxury vehicle with no compromises. And the only way you can actually do that in a way that not what we think, but the customers are going to love, is to build it on here. And if you're looking at this thinking, wow, I don't know what that is, I'm not technical, I have no idea, let me explain it to you. That orange truck back there and that blue truck, those are restorations and Restomods. Old cars trying to be more modern, but there are limitations. That wheelbase is way too short, which is true on the Land Cruiser, the old D90 Defender, all your old SUVs and trucks from the 60s, short wheelbase. Narrow track width, can't change that. So no matter what, you could put $1 million into that Restomod restoration, it will never drive like a modern vehicle. And by the way, because you're not a hardcore off-roader, I know lots of Range Rover owners and G-wagon owners that if I said, hey, let's go to Moab and let's go off-roading, and be like, huh? Where? What? And look, if you are an off-roader, awesome. And you can off-road this, because I've off-roaded this too. You're a hardcore off-roader, there's lots of things you can do. But for our typical customer, who is also the typical Range Rover, G-wagon, Bentley, Urus, SUV, luxury, type customer, I can tell you that the way we built this truck was built for the modern luxury car buyer. So what is this? This right here is what your entire investment and your life rides on, literally. Think about it. You've got 4 wheels and tires touching the ground. Well, what is attached to that? A chassis, AKA a platform. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to follow me on this. This is very, very simple. Old technology, old geometry, even if it's brand new, aftermarket parts, different category. This right here is a 2025, 2026 modern platform. So now think about it. You're going to drop $250,000. I don't care how much money you have. It's an expensive car. It's a lot of money. Shouldn't it be at the very platform, the most modern technology, the most modern engineering and design? And don't you want safety features so you can actually drive it with your wife and your kids and your family or grandkids, or just go to work doing 70 on the freeway and not have to wonder and worry? Don't you want to know that if something were to happen because you can't control it and you were to get in an accident, don't you want to have the odds in your favor at the very least to have all of the modern 2025, 2026 safety features? That is what this is. So when you look at this right here and it looks classic, just know this is a very well thought out product. And it's because we listened to our customers. It's because we knew what our customers wanted. I was a customer and so was my wife, that we reverse engineered perfection. Perfection for today's ultra high-end luxury car buyer at this price point would be, give me all the classic look, none of the classic problems. I want it to drive like a modern car. And God forbid I get in an accident, I really need to have safety features because over half of our customers are female with kids. And if you don't have things like crumple zones built into the frame, crumple zones crumple around you to protect the passengers inside. You want crumple zones. Well, guess what doesn't have crumple zones? Old restorations and restaurants. Didn't exist. That was 60 years ago. The compliance and the safety regulations and standards today and how much things have evolved since 1960s has come a long way. So crumple zones, you definitely want that. You want traction control and anti-lock brakes. Let's say it's dry outside and you slam on the brakes because something happens and you just have to slam on the brakes. If you don't have traction control and anti-lock brakes, you will slide, you could spin. If you're going super fast on the freeway and you slam on without anti-lock brakes, you're probably not going to like that a lot. That's very scary. I've had that happen myself. And that's when it's dry. Now, what if it's wet? Well, if it's wet, you're definitely going to spin and slide. So that means if it's raining, you're definitely not going to drive your classic car restoration. Now, calculate the number of days you can actually drive it. If it's raining, well, all of a sudden your $250,000 plus investment is now limited to sunny days only. And you're probably not going to want to go fast because the way it drives, definitely not going to be the same as your modern vehicle. So these are just some of the considerations. Look, I've been through all of this, and because I'm practical in some sense, and if I buy a car, I want to drive it. I don't want to just look at it. I definitely don't want it to sit in my garage, and I absolutely don't want to pay a mechanic to fix my car that I paid $100 grand for constantly and then have all these problems. That's really annoying to me. Again, when you don't come from money, then you value money. And if that sounds like, familiar to you, then I hear you. And by the way, I'm really glad I didn't, because it makes you a lot more understanding of customers. I'm not like, oh, no big deal, $250, don't worry about it. No, this is a big obligation, so it better be done right. And you better be really happy with it, or I'm not gonna be happy. And so crumple zones, check. Traction control, anti-lock brakes, check. Side impact beams, seems very obvious today, but I can tell you, inside of these doors are side impact beams. So if you get hit from the side, imagine getting hit from the side with nothing. Well, that is what restoration restaurant is. Didn't have that standard back in the 60s, therefore doesn't exist. So you have your side impact beams in the doors. This roll bar is actually functional. It's not decorative. It's tied to the frame, and you can actually even see it right here. So when you call it a roll bar, it's called a roll bar because, God forbid, you roll over and tumble and tumble. You want to know that this thing actually designed, engineered, and built into the frame for real rollover protection. And then technology. We don't think about technology, but it's also there to save us. Roll sensor, stability control. So you got a roll bar, real functional, tied to the chassis, stability control, roll sensor. Old classic car, restoration, Restomod, I don't care if it's $1 million, still doesn't have it, okay? And the number one thing that you do not get in a restoration or Restomod, regardless of the price, are gonna be airbags. And you're definitely gonna want airbags. And you got 6 of them. Of course, this doesn't show it, but it's one right here, one in the front passenger side, one in each of the front seats, and you can see the curtain airbag that runs all the way from that A-pillar, look at all the way right by the passenger's head, right by the driver's head, all the way back in the rear. You have kids, you have grandkids, you have rear passengers, believe me, my wife was extremely disapproving, and rightfully so, as a new mom. I want to say new mom, 8 and 10 years old. Is how old my kids were when I bought my old Bronco. And she said, so no safety features? I was like, no. Okay, well, where are you going? Not far. Well, how fast are you going? Slow. Okay. Can I take the kids to school? No. And that's if we'd make it. We didn't talk about reliability and breakdowns and leaks and rattles and all that stuff yet. Look, can you tell? I know. I have a wife that I spoiled. She also came from nothing, by the way, which I love. And over the years, I bought her nice cars. I'm the kind of guy who I wanted my wife to drive a car that was super nice, and I wasn't just going to drive it for myself and leave her something crappy. So she had Range Rovers, and she had G-wagons, and she's had Uruses and Bentleys and all that stuff, right? And so when you have reached that kind of level of success and you're in the market for a vehicle like this, you want no compromises. And you want to make sure that if your wife wants to drive it, or it's probably actually for your wife, because half of the customers, over half, are women, like Deb. Congrats, Deb. This is absolutely stunning. There shouldn't be any issues, right? Because if you, I'm generalizing here, as a male, as a guy, don't want these problems, your wife definitely doesn't want these problems. And let me tell you something, happy wife, happy life. So last thing I want is a phone call from my wife in the daytime while I'm working saying, hey, I'm stuck on the side of the road. Can you call me? Can you bring somebody? Can you come here again? And that's actually what happened, right? Every time I drove my Defender, Land Cruiser, old Bronco, Hummer, every time, it's like as soon as you get that feeling, it's, damn, now you're on the side of the road. Let me ask you an honest question. When was the last time you were stranded on the side of the road? And I'm not talking about running out of gas. I'm talking about another issue in your car. These are things that it doesn't matter if you don't have a high-end vehicle. The modern cars today are significantly more reliable, have significantly better technology, engineering, and design, and therefore you don't have to worry about it. So what we did was we took this, which is the opposite of what we used to do, and the opposite of what everyone else does. And we did it because we knew it was better, because we knew what our customers wanted. They wanted this look. They didn't want the problems. And they wanted safety features. And we couldn't give them safety features in the old car. And at this price point, when they opened the door, this is what they wanted to see. The kind of luxury, details, craftsmanship, and fit and finish that you're used to in your other cars in your garage. Because I'm telling you, if you buy this is probably not the nicest car you have. I know. And if it is, well then it will be the nicest car you have. But even if you have a Rolls-Royce Cullinan or Bentley Bentayga or a G63 or a Range Rover or Urus, I can tell you that our customers, they have all those cars. And when they get this, the reaction they get really makes me happy, because I devoted the last few years of my life, along with the team that we built. Check this out, manual, 7-speed. How cool is that? To building the perfect classic-inspired luxury vehicle. And I knew exactly what they wanted, because it's exactly what I wanted. And until the customers told us that they were happy, simply wasn't going to stop. And we'll still not stop, by the way, because why? We love pushing the envelope. We love making our clients happy, and we want to bring innovation to market that's going to check every box. And so from a fit and finish, quality, craftsmanship perspective, down to every line, down to every gap, everything accounted for, it's a piece of art you can drive every day. And when I compare this to our best Restomod, which at the time was the best product you could buy, it didn't exist until we did it. I can tell you, it's not a comparison. Fit and finish craftsmanship, always been good. But the way this truck drives, the way it sounds inside, the handling, the ride quality, everything from just how it feels, the confidence you get in a longer wheelbase vehicle with a 100.4 inch wheelbase versus that orange one, and that Restomod, that blue one, it's only 92. So you got an 8-inch difference, you got a wider track width, and oh yeah, since you're not that hardcore off-roader, you're going to want IFS, independent front suspension. All of this, by the way, is not my opinion. You can check all of it, and you can talk to our team. We're here to educate you. We'll tell you everything we know, and very few people and companies have been through what we went through. We didn't just do restoration and rest mod. Like, we weren't just trying to build cars to make money. I didn't start this company to make money. I started it to fix my old Bronco. And I laugh because when people ask me, hey, how did you get into that? That just seems like, what? How did you start, at the time, vintage Broncos? How'd you do that? And it was funny because when I really boil it down, I can tell you, yes, I'm a serial entrepreneur. Yes, I've done other businesses, but I didn't start this to make money. I started it simply because I loved old cars, but I hated all of the old car problems. And truly, my wife was really the catalyst behind all of it, because that truck had so many problems. But when you make your wife's hair and clothes smell like gas, and when you call her over and over and you say, can you come pick me up? And she watches, your truck get flatbedded every few times you drive it. And then you ask if you take the kids to school, and she's like, nah, no, you're not doing that. I didn't like that. And I basically, instead of just ditching that old car, I was like, no, I'm not giving up on this. There's got to be a way to make it better. And that's actually how the company started. It was gasoline smell on my wife's hair and clothes. So if you ever really want to know how and why I started this company, it's because I wanted more out of my old cars. And my wife, she had an opinion about my old cars. And I know our clients have had the same problem, because you've had your old Mustang, I know. You had your old Camaro, I'm sure. You had your old Defender and Bronco and Blazer and Land Cruiser and all the cool old stuff. I did too. And then you had all the problems too, didn't you? And you had all the issues, and you went through it all. And your wife probably was like, hey, cool looking truck, but, and you can make the list. And so that is the real story behind the company. And I think that's really, really important for you to know, because it is our why. It's why we do what we do. Now, if we were just a, hey, this is a business and we're going to really make sure we make lots of money and margin and EBITDA and all that stuff, and it's not that we don't care about that, but that to us is the reward we get when we deliver this. And to me, there's no faking this, because at this price point, you're not getting away with anything. And I'm good with that. And the reason why is I don't want to get away with anything. The only thing that's acceptable to me and our team is when our customers, and I know we got a guy very close to buying this. If you're watching this, you should buy this, because I'm telling you, it is going to sell, and somebody's going to be really, really happy with the spec, because I spec'd it, and it's really, really nice. But seriously, there's only one, and we'll only make one. But the point is that the only acceptable outcome is that when our customers, they get this vehicle, and when they open the door and they look inside and they touch the materials and they inspect the details, the reaction that they share with us and what they write online in the Google reviews, go Google Vintage Modern, and what they share with us, because we follow up, we walk them through the process, that's what we're after. What we're after is it exceeds their expectations. Fit and finish and craftsmanship better than expected. And these are customers that have every possible car you can think of at any price point. And what I'm really proud of is the execution from our team, the ability to repeat that over and over at this level of quality and scale for the most picky, discerning buyers who literally own every car brand that you can think of over $200,000, $250,000, $300,000, including Bugatti, including Koenigsegg. And when they get the car and they tell you that, That right there is the ultimate validation. It is why I started this. And I couldn't have told you that it would end up being what it is today. But what I can tell you is it's just the beginning for us. Because what we know is we can deliver quality on time. Two simple things, extremely difficult to do. And when you can do that, and you can do it well, and you love it, and you've got a team of people who also love it, well then, you're not just going to build this truck, you're going to build that truck. And others too, which are coming. And, for us, we are a for-profit company. It isn't nonprofit. But that's not how we think about it. We believe if we exceed customer expectations consistently and deliver on time and stand behind the product in the event anything comes up, because it's a car, and if you have ever had this car or any other car, over 250, 300 grand, it doesn't matter. I think people think, oh, Rolls-Royce, no issues. Yeah, right. Nah, not the case. Range Rover. I have a 2025 Range Rover, and that thing, that back seat, the electrical, I don't know what they did, but the electrical, and I've had Range Rovers. I think I've had 5 or 6. And actually, none of them really had problems. With this one, it's definitely had problems. My neighbor down the street has the same truck. She bought it at the same time, 2025 Range Rover, long wheelbase. Really nice car, by the way. I really like it. And I took a break from Range Rover for a while, got back into it, and it's been at the service place probably 3 or 4 times, right? I'm not knocking Land Rover, because I still love the car, by the way. But what I am telling you is warranty pops up for any vehicle at any price point, including Rolls-Royce, including a $400,000 or $500,000 Cullinan. And so it's the way that we go about it that's unique and different. And here's what you have to know. If anything pops up after we deliver it, I don't care what it is. We don't care what it is. We don't even care if you kind of sort of did it, so long as you didn't do it on purpose and you didn't just damage the truck. We're going to stand behind it. It's the way we stand behind it that matters. And if you're shopping around and you decide you don't want to buy from us, I'm cool with that. Go buy it from somewhere else, but ask them explicitly, what is the warranty? How are you going to handle it? What time frame? What is it going to cost? How do I know? Because this is our warranty. And we do this because, again, this is a passion for us. We're unhappy unless the customer is over the moon about the entire product experience, everything. And God forbid warranty comes up. I can tell you that's the W word around here. You say warranty and everyone's eyes and ears perk up like, huh? Because we think it's an obligation that if you purchase a vehicle at this price point, it's not inexpensive, $300,000, and anything pops up, the only acceptable outcome is that you are extremely fast to remedy that with zero inconvenience and zero cost. It's that simple. Wouldn't that be perfect? And I can tell you, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Ferrari, Lamborghini, they don't do that. You got to go to a dealer, you have to wait to get in, and then they're going to fight you over whether or not they covered or not, because the dealer is simply the dealer, and they got to fight with the manufacturer to see what's covered and what's not, parts, labor, all that kind of stuff. Well, technically you did this and that, it's not covered. This is not how we do it. And it goes back to our philosophy. Our customers are either over the moon happy or we failed. And in the event of a warranty, which does happen, we're on a plane, our people, certified traveling technicians, at your door, in your driveway. You don't need to go anywhere, super fast. And I'm talking like 2 business days. If we can get there faster, we will. 3 business days, depending on if, how far away you are. But here's one thing that's for sure, and this is just a fact. We have built hundreds of cars. I can tell you that the dollar amount, I know it down to the penny, that we charge for warranty is 0, including when we built Restomods. Wow, which is really hard to do. You'd have to build those to understand how quirky they can be, even when you build them well. This right here, because it's built on that 2025, 2026 technology, significantly more reliable and easier to warranty. Therefore, that white glove bumper-to-bumper warranty, we do it with a smile because A, we feel obligated, because we should at this price point, and B, we have a lot of confidence in not only the platform and all of the products and the parts we put on, we have a lot of confidence in our people and our process because we're obsessive about it. And then what you get is truly something unique, something rare, something different, craftsmanship that I can assure you will make your G63 go, huh? because my G63 2025 AMG, this is plastic. So we wrap everything in leather or Alcantara. All of the stitching and the details we obsess over. And all of it is handcrafted by artists. And if you're an artist, then you know you're never happy with your work. So even though it is just damn near perfect and we score everything using data, we'll never stop making it better. And that's really kind of our motto. So this Valentine's Day truck right here, this was spec'd to be the ultimate gift, and we timed it so that if you really want to surprise a special someone who has everything, they definitely don't have this for two reasons. One, these trucks are super rare, and two, that's a one of one in existence on the planet. So you want something super rare, super exclusive, and really well thought out, and just really cool. I mean, this truck is just really cool. Look at it's not overdone in my opinion. This paint color is it gives you like a hint of pink, and in the sunlight, almost comes across as white. And then inside this pink leather, I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but it's not like a crazy highlighter pink. It's just this kind of very subtle Valentine's Day candy type pink. And then you got your bright white accents here. And I'm gonna sit inside here very carefully because this truck is done and it's ready to ship anywhere in the world, by the way. I'm gonna set this down even though I am very clean. And now just imagine driving this thing. It is just fun and a piece of art at every detail. You have all of your modern technology, like your 12-inch touchscreen navigation infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And none of this is aftermarket, by the way. Aftermarket versus OEM, two different things. Significantly better quality, because to be a tier 1 supplier of parts like navigation, touchscreen, climate control, that kind of stuff, this is not an aftermarket thing that you can buy on eBay, right? You can buy a backup camera for $99 on eBay and wire it up. That is not what this is. All of this is factory. And so you have your touchscreen navigation, you have your dual zone climate control, and you have heated seats and your heated steering wheel. All your technology down here. It is an automatic, although I showed you over there a Britney blue one that is a 7-speed manual. We can do manual, harder to get, more rare, a little bit longer of a wait, but worth it if you really want a manual. So this is a 10-speed automatic, and you have your shift on the fly 4-wheel drive. So let's go talk about weather again. It's late January, almost February, and it's cold. But if you really wanted to drive this truck, even if it's snowing, you could. Even if it's raining, you could. Reason being, we designed and manufactured this soft top to be completely waterproof. So with one hand on the phone and one hand above my head here, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this so you can see just how simple it is. I just clamped that right there, and then same thing over here. And this right here, this header seal, waterproof, windproof. And we engineered it that way to ensure that you're not gonna have water coming in. And on top of that, during test miles, we water test the entire top too, just to make sure. And what's nice about that is that if you roll up the windows and your soft top wasn't in safari mode, obviously it's on right now, you could drive this in the rain, in the snow. I've done both on the freeway. And then you decide, you know what, let's put it in 4-wheel drive. You hit that button, you're in 4-wheel drive, and let's say you're in a lot of snow. You have different modes here where you can change it to snow, slippery, ice, sand, and you don't have to worry about it. Hands-free calling to make your phone calls, easily make a business phone call going 70 miles an hour with the top off and the window top closed and windows up. change your music, Apple CarPlay. Let's say you're on the freeway and you want to put it in cruise control and just sit and relax. Easy to do. And let's say it wasn't winter, or it is winter, but you're down in Miami and it was 85 degrees this past weekend. Pretty nice. And simply one clamp right here, reach over here and pull down on that. And then again, I've got one hand here on the phone and I'm just going to lift up on this and let there be light. And yes, you can drive on the freeway with this soft top open like this. It is our client's favorite configuration. In fact, the favorite configuration is going to be moonroof open and easy to shut and open like I just showed you, and safari mode where the side and the rear and the side windows are unzipped. I could easily, and I timed myself before, in under 5 minutes zip it on. I could take it off probably in under 4 minutes, and then it's easy to go on and off. But if it's winter time, a lot of people, they just leave the rear and the sides zipped up and then they just open and close this, which is nice. But again, it's the versatility and the thought that we put into each and every part. And all of it came from two sources. One, what was I unhappy with? And I had a high standard. Remember, 60 cars, nicest cars you can buy. If it didn't compare to that, I wasn't happy. One. Two, customer feedback. And when they tell you your soft top that you buy off the shelf, which is what most, soft top designs are, even if they make the fabric, it's floppy, flaps in the wind, and it leaks. So imagine you drop 300 grand on a car, you're driving around in Miami or wherever, South Florida, LA, Seattle, and it starts raining and water comes in. I don't know about that. I just wouldn't be happy with it. So yeah, I was just picky enough and self-critical enough, and so was our team. And we had a team of amazing problem solvers who said, okay, well, we can fix that, and then give you creature comforts like you're used to so that you can enjoy. Keyless entry, remote start, and power windows, power door locks. Premium stereo, can't be driving this without a really nice sound system. Focal audio, upgraded. And then back here, some more thought went into this, which I really love, because unlike your truck right now, you'd probably never hang out in it, right? Your car or your truck. But this right here is your front row seats to whatever you want. And so I had that Love Shack fancy truck in the Hamptons and pulled it on the beach, had to have a permit for that, and drove on the beach, and we just set this tailgate down. We engineered this tailgate to hold 500 pounds. And you can hang out here. You've got your sound system, your 10-inch JL subwoofer with your matching pink perforated cover on your speaker grill, and custom subwoofer that we engineered to be completely hidden, because why do you want to see it, right? And then little details like your matching pink little loop here that when you pull up on it, you've got your hidden cooler and your drain plug. So what kind of beverage would you put in there? You can throw some charcuterie in there, some champagne, some beverages, or just water, whatever you want. And you got really a front row seat to whatever you want. And hanging out here on this teak wood, a lot of boat influence, if you can't tell, big boaters. And just enjoy the details of your beautiful truck that you can drive every day with your family. And it will be, if you have kids or grandkids, it'll be their favorite car. They're gonna beg you to drive it. They're gonna say, no. Like, this is what they're gonna want you to drive. They're gonna want you to pick them up in carpool. It's just super cool looking. And you don't have to go, well, no, I can't because it's too far, too fast, or it's raining. You can drive it every day. And then back here, what we did was we blended modern safety features with classic inspired design. And we use the word inspired because you actually don't want it to be the same as it was. The whole point is to make it better. If we use the same body from the 1960s, it would be too short, too narrow, and then you have the same driving problems, right? And you wouldn't have crumple zones and all the modern safety features. And so this is longer and wider. It's our interpretation of what the ideal classic car would be today in 2026. And so these little guys right here, if you recognize them on your normal modern car, are your parking sensors. And you have a backup camera. And what I love about this is that if I just stand a few feet away, you can't tell. And then we engineered this tailgate to drop down just beautifully like that, revealing all the art that it is. And these seats back here, they fold down 50-50 and they fold flat. So you need room for your golf clubs. You can do that too. All of the details like this gas cap right here, this is not plastic. And I want to say there's one car recently. So I'm kind of a geek like this, right? Every car I check out, I always look at the gas cap, I look at all the details, right? Because that's the business that we're in. And I'm always doing it to compare and ensure that if any big car manufacturer is doing it, then we definitely should be doing it too, or do it better. Which tells me, brings my next point, in that in your G63 AMG, just as an example, you go to your rear subwoofer, which is on this side, on the driver's side, and that subwoofer cover on your $250,000 G63 AMG is black plastic. I just don't know how you go all the way and then you leave details like that, right? And then little things like the gas cap, very, very rare will you ever find a gas cap that's not plastic. So G-wagon, same thing, that AMG G-wagon, actually let's look at it right here. This is a G63 chassis, and this right here is what I'm talking about here. AMG, you grew up your whole life wishing and hoping one day you can afford a car that costs 250 grand. This one's $500,000. And then you get your gas cap and you're like, really? Plastic? I guess Mercedes has to meet their Wall Street quarterly earnings, and this right here saves just a little bit of margin so that they can hit those EBITDA numbers. Kind of don't care about that, honestly. What I care about is that you smile every single time and you go, damn, these guys really did it. And there's nothing more important than doing what you say you'll do. So billet aluminum, overkill, then machined using CNC, space grade aluminum, by the way. This one here is painted or powder coated, I'm sorry. This is actually powder coated, and it's bright white, not your Wimbledon white, which is not something we normally do, it's custom. And if it was chrome, like the one on the balloon white here, we would send it to Detroit to be chromed. And I always use this example just again to show you, we don't choose convenience or cost savings over quality, because there are many chromers way closer to us here in Atlanta, Georgia, than Detroit. Well, why did we choose to chrome in Detroit? There are chromers right here in the state of Georgia. Well, we tested various chromers and they didn't meet our standard. And because we don't want to get in the chroming business, which is a big endeavor, whenever we pick partners, we ensure that they can do quality, on-time delivery. They don't do those two things, it's a non-starter. So there's your gas cap. Just one example of all the little things. You partner with best-in-class companies like Fox for the suspension. When you build wheels, you don't buy them cheap off the shelf. You actually manufacture them with forged aluminum. Forged aluminum is extremely expensive, but super lightweight and high quality. And check that out. Matching Valentine's Day peeking through there. Really nice touch. And these wheels come in white, Wimbledon white, black, or polished. And we also have our own forged retro wheel too. Let's see if I can hunt one down. But it's all those little details that we thought through. 900 hours of handcrafted art. I don't think I can call it labor anymore. I was watching those videos that record. I'm like, labor. Labor sounds like a construction guy on a hot day, you know, sweating on the side of the road. This is art. Brand new American-made steel. Can you hear it? I love that sound. Much like the G-wagon sound, which a lot of people know, it's all about quality. And so we didn't go with something cheap, composite, fiberglass overseas. I actually stamped brand new sheet metal in Detroit and did it in American-made steel. So this bumper right here, actual steel. Your headlights, 7-inch round. You see them on a lot of old cars like the Land Rover, Jeeps, Hummer. It's LED, and all the lighting's LED too. So you have it look old school, but you can actually see at night and the bulbs aren't going to go out. And then little things like this emblem right here, billet aluminum. And that usually is going to be chromed or black or Wimbledon white. This one right here, matching bright white. And then behind this grille, even though you got this classic look, you have your pre-collision assist with emergency braking. Why not, right? So when you think about a vehicle, especially this price point, but any vehicle, do you really want to make compromises in general? But at this price point, you should have everything. You should have quality, craftsmanship, fit and finish should be zero question about it. And we feel extremely confident that you will know and agree the moment you open the door. And even before you open the door, you're going to smell it too, because it's a lot of leather. But it's just the little things, right? When you get in the car, you're just going to smile. And isn't that what you want? I don't care if you're spending $300 or $3,000 or $30,000, let alone $300,000. When you buy a product, don't you want to nod and go, man, I am very happy with that purchase? Because that, to me, that's where you make money, margin, EBITDA, earnings, all that stuff, right? You have to exceed customer expectations. So far, when we say no compromises, we just talk about cosmetics so far, right? Fit and finish, not even cosmetic, just quality, details, craftsmanship. Has to be perfect, especially at this price. And then the way it looks, the design is really, really important too. You don't want to spend this kind of money on a car and then pull up to a red light. Well, it is the same paint scheme, but you're not going to see another one of these anywhere either. You don't want to pull up to red light or carpool or the country club and have the exact same car, let alone 2 or 3 or 4. So, we have a black Range Rover, and we understand a lot of people have black Range Rover where we live, where we go, all that stuff. And that's just one of the things that you accept when you buy a Range Rover. And they make 50,000, I think. I'll have to double check production numbers, but it's a lot of cars. So you want something that nobody else has. You want something unique, beautiful looking. And upon close inspection, I recently was watching the Barrett-Jackson auctions. I've been to Barrett-Jackson. I was surprised by what I saw. Watch Barrett-Jackson blacklist us now. I'm just telling the truth. You go do your own research. And because I'm crazy OCD, meticulous, and I know what good looks like, and I'm a car builder, when I went to Barrett-Jackson, I was really surprised by the fit and finish and quality of some of the builds. Not to say there weren't good builds there, but again, it's probably something like 99%, and then 1% good. Do your research and figure out who the 1% is. They're few and far between. And even on the pictures, you don't have to go to Scottsdale. You don't have to go to Barrett-Jackson. You have a good eye, you can look at the pictures and you can see the problems that people have in lines and gaps. The reason why? That shit's way harder than you think to get it all straight. Think about it. You have X, Y, Z axis, you get all these things going on, hood, fender, door, like a lot of things, right? How on earth do you get it all to line up? And I think the reason why other companies struggle with that is, my guess is they are probably eyeballing it, and they're probably doing it by memory and feel. Not to take away from the artists that do it, but how can you possibly get every line and gap to be perfect if you're eyeballing it? And therefore, we don't eyeball anything. Everything has a specification. And I love looking at the pictures and then seeing the price. Because guys, they're going for a lot of money. And either the people that are buying it have no idea what they're buying, or they're going to get a surprise when they get it home. And if anyone that knew what they were looking at, they'd be like, how much did you pay for this? So it's, again, something that probably for 90+% of the population, you're not a car expert, you're not a car inspector, you're not a body person, you don't know about these things, nor do you have time, or nor do you care. You just want it to be good. And for a lot of money, going back to what I used to do, surely for $200,000 it's got to be good. But that's just not the case. So do your own research. And all of this, I can tell you, I hope it's helpful. Even if you're not going to buy a car from us, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to us. We'd like for you to. But if you don't, hopefully it gives you the right questions to ask the right kind of due diligence to go through so that you're not disappointed, because there's nothing worse than spending $100, $150, $200, $250,000 on a car you see online that looks really good. They tell you it's a nut and bolt restoration. Do you really want a restoration, first of all? A. B, who's building it? How are they building it? How are they going to stand behind it? And how do you know? And at the end of the day, it's probably not something that most people should do. Like when you bought your house, you probably didn't do your own inspection. You paid an inspection company. So when you buy a car, especially one that's not just a normal Lamborghini, Ferrari, G-wagon, Range Rover, you're going to need an inspector. And I go third party. That's what I would do. And for us, the number of inspections and the process and the data and the steps that we go through to ensure that what we say we're going to deliver on is A, on time, and B, perfect, it is immensely, immensely complex. We do all that to make sure that our customers are over the moon happy. So, ultimate Valentine's Day present for sale, in stock, ready to ship. You can text or call our team and grab this right now live and put a deposit down. Today's Tuesday, and then wrap this up and we will ship it. And if you want a pink bow or a white bow, we'll even find that for you. And then I love these two together. We shot this on Friday night, super late, because it's going to be very, very rare for us to ever have these two together. They're actually the same paint color, and the interior is the same leather color, which is a very rare run of pink leather. Look at the amount of teak in this thing. So cool. And this is our vintage G-wagon in collaboration with our partners, Carlex. You can see right there. And these guys did an amazing job. Absolute piece of art. Look at this rear tire carrier. 1960s vibes. And it does come in 12 different paint colors. So I think a lot of people think it's only comes in pink. It comes in 12 colors. And there's blue, all two-tone of blue. There's gray, there's green, there's orange. Just look at that. So you really want something rare, and you are or are not a G-wagon person. I've had G500, G550, G63, 4x4 squared, Brabus, all that stuff. And I always loved them because a G-wagon is just a really, really cool looking truck. I have a Type, very boxy and utilitarian, timeless. And so, but you want something really different, because I swear every time in Miami, I'm reminded of how common even the nice cars are everywhere. Every influencer selling a course has a G-wagon. But what you don't have is this. This right here is another piece of art, handcrafted, this time on a modern car chassis, being a G63 AMG. Imagine your donor being a G63 AMG, and then handcrafted to the same level of quality, every detail, and limited edition. We're only offering this currently to our clients. So if you have one of our modern classic trucks, you can get one. And after we finish that round, if there's any allocations left, we'll offer them on an invite-only basis. So if this is your jam, and again, doesn't just come in pink, so it's blue, there's brown, gray. Go to our website, vintagemodern.com. Listen to the sound of that. I love that. And you can go and check out the page and reach out to our team, and they'll walk you through the vintage G-wagon, the in-stock, ready to ship, and a couple pre-owned, they're unlisted, including that GT Silver, and my new personal favorite, which I'm really, really excited to see somebody grab, is going to be the frozen graphite truck that is not yet listed. Hey guys, check out this orange one. I love that. Can't wait to see that one. And I'll show it to you here, and then you can text or call our team. They're standing by. They will answer your questions and let you know the process. You can even do trades or finance. How cool is that? And if this is not your style, this GT Silver one right here for sale. Okay, so reach out to us, and no time's too late. Our team is standing by, and thank you for all your support, and we are looking forward to working with you. Thanks to all the fans, and thanks to all